We played with Wishbone Ash. We played with MC5. Nectar music blends with almost anybody.
Rock, metal, prog, and everything in between. Welcome to this episode of Talkin' Rock with Meltdown. Don't forget to follow the audio-only Talkin' Rock podcast on all podcast platforms. And now, it's time for today's conversation. Here's Meltdown.
There he is, Derek Mo Moore. How are you, Mo?
Good.
All your friends call you Mo?
Yeah, all my music friends call me Mo. Yeah.
All right, yeah. Well, good to see and talk to you. I just found out before we got on, you're going to be at the Talkin Lounge coming up on April 18th. Vinnie Moore is coming with you as well. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. And of course, a big tour. You're going to be in Chicago. You were talking about all sorts of places across the states, eh?
Yeah. We're going up the East Coast and all the way down through the Midwest.
Yeah. And of course, you're out in support of the new record, Mission to Mars, with 4 whole songs on it.
So yeah, the longer songs, some are 10 minutes, some are 8 minutes, but the length of the record is about the same as all our other ones.
Yeah, this is really cool. It definitely has that 70s proggy feel to it. It's got some soft moments as well. I'll Let You In is a real kind of a dreamy type song. And then of course you guys did this with a new drummer as well.
Yes. Yeah, Ron Howden, my drumming partner for 60 years, died last September, and he was just starting to get to know the new songs, and he came up on the Sunday, and he listened to the stuff, and he asked me for a thumb drive, so we gave him a thumb drive, and the next day he was gone. It was weird.
Yeah, you talked about how you play with them for 60 years. Obviously, you're a bass player, so it's like, what kind of, I mean, how hard is it to replace a drummer that you've played with for so long, being in your position in the band?
It's very difficult, but Jay Dittamo, the guy we eventually picked, he used to play with Rich Schlander, our guitarist, and Kendall Scott, our keyboard player, and he has a good ear. And he was able to, he knew Ron well. In fact, Ron asked him a few years ago in 2016, I think. Ron said, if ever I can't play, because he had cancer and he knew he had cancer. And he said, if ever I can't play, I'd like you to play for me. And when we were auditioning drummers, when he came to play, he was already prepared. He knew how Ron's style was. And he was able to fit his style and Ron's style together to blend. And he's a really good drummer.
Yeah.
When we did Mission to Mars, we had 2-day rehearsal, and then went in the studio, and in 2 days we'd recorded all the basic tracks.
How did the basic theme of this record come about?
Well, We'd been writing, Rich and I had been writing music since COVID hit. When COVID hit, we started writing stuff. And then when we came down to putting it together, Kendall brought some pieces, which we fitted in nicely. And then Rich and I sat down and wrote all the words. It just came together. It popped into my head, Mission to Mars. I said, let's call it Mission to Mars. And Rich said, oh yeah, I like that, So that's how it goes with us. It pops into your head and you run with it.
Yeah, and I guess during the pandemic, you probably would have wanted to be on Mars.
Yeah. And it's funny how many things are happening with Mars, with Elon Musk's talking about Mars. Everybody's talking about Mars all of a sudden. So we were there first.
I was going to say, you might as well, right?
Yeah.
So the record drops 4 songs on this record. Obviously, a very proggy album. What got you into prog way back in the day? Because you were kind of, were you doing it kind of before it was prog, or did somebody influence you?
We were doing it a long time before it was prog.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were doing this in 69, the end of 69. And it got called prog a long time after that. But we're basically rock and roll, and it's rock and roll with a twist.
Well, there's a twist, no doubt. But at the time in 1969, that wasn't far removed from when Yes made their appearance, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So
Yes, Genesis were around.
yeah.
Floyd were around. Floyd did some of our music actually, and so did Iron Maiden.
Iron
Did,
Maiden, yeah.
did one of our songs. Yeah,
Yeah, what an honor that is. So when in the 60s though, it's like when you said, well, you started playing music in 64, correct?
right.
Yeah. And so what was the impetus for picking up the bass?
Well, I was actually playing classical piano at the time, and I got in this band. I was 16, I think, and I got in this band, and I was playing rock and roll piano, and the bass player left. So it was either play bass or we didn't have a band. And when I started, the first bass I had, we made. Couldn't afford to buy one, and so we made one. Knowing what I know today, the fact that it was in tune from top to bottom was just a miracle, you know. And I found it easy to play bass because I knew what the chords were. Playing piano, you knew in a chord what notes there were that you could play, you know. So I started playing bass, and I I play very melodically because of the piano influence, you know, really.
Hmm.
Um, I like to hear like a cello part, you know, it sings through the song, and that's what I like, you know.
Mhm. And then you guys formed the band, and when you see a guy like Chris Squire playing, what do you think?
Oh, he's a great bass player. He was a great bass player. I met Chris. They were playing somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. It was in New York, I think. And somebody introduced me to him. And boy, I mean, I've got big hands, but his hands just wrapped around mine. It was I don't think I've ever known anybody with such big hands, which gives him the ability to play fast because his fingers are extended more. I thought he was a really good bass player, really good, and he's a very melodic bass player too.
Yeah, no doubt. What other bands did you cross paths with when you were growing up in the 60s to get your musical influences? Maybe bands you knew of that we would have heard, like a Black Sabbath or something.
Yeah, we hung with Black Sabbath when they played the Star Club in Hamburg. Um, Spooky Tooth were really good.
Oh,
That's an older band, I'm sure.
yeah. Yep.
But we played with Wishbone Ash. We played with MC5. We played with lots and lots of bands through the years. It's been good. You know, the thing is that Nectar music blends with almost anybody because we have a fairly wide spread of music. If you listen to our albums, every album's different. It's just what comes into our head is we play it. We don't think, oh, you can't play that because, in fact, from the new album, I'll Let You In is crossing over into the Christian market, which is really interesting. Um, I wouldn't have thought that, but it's there. It's picking up speed, you know.
Mhm.
But I like it. I like the new album. It's we're back to being a four-piece band: drums, bass, guitar, and keyboards. And Marianne sings backup vocals, and often she blends very well with Rich. So they give a nice, it gives a nice feel to the vocals, you
It
know.
does, yeah. It has a very, yeah. The harmonies are really good on this record. Now, as you know, like I said, I was listening to it just earlier today and throughout the week as well. And I have to admit, I'm a prog rock fan, although I'm probably not into it, into the world as much as you are per se. But what about some bands from nowadays? Are you like a fan of Tool?
Cool. No, I don't know them.
Okay, because Tool's like that's in your world, but they came around in the mid '90s, and now they play arenas all over the country.
I'll have to have a look at them too.
Yeah, because Tool is considered, I guess, one of the more proggy bands, or like a Dream Theater.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been told that they're looking to see if we could get some gigs with Dream Theater, which I think would be really good for us, you know.
Wow, that would be incredible. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I don't care if we go on first or we go on last. It doesn't bother me at all.
that's right. Yeah, the Dream Theater guys, I think they have a new record coming out. Did you cross paths with Rush back in the '70s?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, yeah. Getty, I mean, he had a boy, talk about a guy that can really play the instrument and do other things as well. I say, he's singing, he's playing, he's using his feet, he's doing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, great. He's one of the greats, definitely.
Yeah. So this is your 16th record. You still enjoy making music and going out and touring?
Yeah, that's the reason I do it, really. I mean, I think rec writing music and recording it is one of the best feelings you can have. Unfortunately, it doesn't make you as much money as it used to, with Spotify and all these uh, companies just basically ripping you off is what they're doing. I mean, you get more out of a CD than you do out of 5,000 plays on Spotify, you know,
Right, right.
basically, you know. But I like recording. We do the basic tracks are always live, so we go in the studio and we play it live, and then we add the vocals or we add, you know, maybe a guitar or a synthesizer or something to it. But basically, the basic tracks are live, and we've done that from day one, from Journey to the Center of the Eye all the way through. We've always played everything live. In fact, I'll tell you a funny story on Remember the Future. We did Remember the Future Part One, I believe, and the take was beautiful. The whole thing was perfect. The only thing we added to it was guitar and vocals, of course. We were big into vocals, and I missed one note, and I said, "Well, no problem. I'll go in the studio and get on the grand piano, and I'll hit two octaves, you know." And so I went in and I did that, and the in the record it just explodes. I mean, it was a mistake that really was 10 times better than it would have been, you know. So I'm big on live stuff. I like playing live, and I like playing live on the records, you know.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because like sometimes like there's been some classic songs where voices crack or there might not be a great note right there, but they leave it in and those songs have become iconic.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you listen to "I'll Let You In," Rich was almost crying when he did that.
Mm.
You know, we found when we wrote the words, they really affected us. They really he brings tears to your eyes, you know. And I like the emotion in it. And it was unbelievable. I mean, you could hear the last part that he sang on his own. His voice was just cracking from the emotion. And I like to capture that, you know.
Yeah, it gives it a real feel for sure.
Yeah.
So you're down in the southern part of the country. How long have you been in America?
Oh, I've been in America since 1976.
Oh, okay, for a long time, yeah.
Long time, yeah. When we came over here for, um, I believe it was Recycled, when we did the Recycled tour. Um, we liked the first time we came was to Boston in 1970, but when we came to tour in 74, I think it was, with Remember the Future, we just loved it. I mean, the amount of music that you could get on, and the amount of stations with good music. I mean, in Germany, we had one station that played good music. That was it. We lived in Germany for 11 years. But it gave us the opportunity to play whatever we wanted to play because the German market likes that sort of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I have to say, the American market was really good to us. So we stayed. The band broke up in 76, 77, 77. Roy left, and we auditioned and we got Dave Nelson. We did Magic as a Child. And then that was 78. We toured 79, and then I left. And I went into construction, plumbing and heating, radiant heat especially, which you would like there in Detroit.
Yeah.
And then Ron approached me when I retired. He said, "Hey, do you want to put the band together?" I said, "Well, why not? You know, I've nothing else to do." So we put the band together and we did The Other Side. The Other Side was songs that me and Richard written back in 78. So it had no problem having that 70s feel, you know. And then when we started writing Mission to Mars, once I came up with the title, it all fell together.
Right.
You know, usually Mick would come up with the titles. He was very good at titles. And it felt right. And now we're going to do a trilogy. It's going to be 3 albums, and it's going to be based around Mars, I believe. Right now, that's my belief.
So this is the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the first one.
And you said that you left the band. I think according to the Wikipedia, there was nothing there from 1981 to about 2000. Does that timeline?
That's when I was doing plumbing and heating and construction. I was out of it completely.
And did you have kids? You had kids this time, I take it, right?
Yeah, I have 2 kids that I adopted in Russia.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
And when we had the option, we in 2001, I believe it was 2002, maybe we were invited to do a Near Fest in New Jersey. And Roy called me up and he said, "Do you want to do a concert? We're getting requests to do a concert." And I said, "Why not? My kids had not seen it."
Right.
So I said, "Yeah, I'd love to do it, you know." And we rehearsed the band. I rehearsed the band because Roy was in England. And I rehearsed the band and we put everything together. We added a couple of vocalists to it and a percussion player. And it was amazing concert for us and for the audience. We got standing ovation for every song.
Wow.
And during the evening, I said, "Look, you guys have not seen us for a long time. 2:00 tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be at a table. Come and get any autographs you want. We'll do whatever you bring. We'll sign." And there was a 4 deep line around the building. It was amazing, absolutely amazing.
No, but that's great. Your kids got to see you play.
Yeah. And we did a few more shows. We went to we did the Adirondacks. We went to Europe. We played in England. We played a huge festival, the Herzberg Festival in Germany, which was amazing. And we did a concert in where we used to live in Darmstadt, Seeheim, Germany. That was packed. And then I left again.
Yeah.
That was it. I went back to my job where I was, you know, we had we had 3 corporations at the time. But then when that time came where I retired, and you know, Ron approached me, I said, "Yeah, let's do it. Why not? We've got all this music, might as well use it, you know."
Yeah. It was probably never far from your mind playing in a band, right?
No, no. You never lose track of playing. You know, it's like getting on a bike. You've not
Right.
been on a bike for a while. You pedal a little bit and off it goes, you know.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you what, I can't wait. I didn't even know you guys were coming to town, but yeah, April 18th with Vinnie Moore at the Token Lounge. And Mission to Mars, that's out right now. Make a good stocking stuffer, CD, vinyl, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a special on our record company, Deco Entertainment. If you go to Facebook and you look on Nectar, what's it called? Nectar, the legendary rock band, is the one of the places to go on Facebook, and you'll see Deco's advertising a whole bunch of stuff for like 60 bucks or something like that.
That's
But it's
awesome.
a lot of stuff. Yeah, I know I think there's a T-shirt involved. There's a signed thing involved. We have two albums out right now. One's called Journey to the Other Side, which was a 2.5 hour live concert.
Right.
It's um, it's not a DVD, what they call it, Blu-ray. It's a
Right.
Blu-ray. It was too big for a DVD.
Yeah.
And then the Mission to Mars. They both came out within a month of each other.
And that 2.5 hour concert, that's what, about 6 songs?
Yeah, yeah. It's actually from the title. It's pieces from Journey to the Center of the Eye all the way through the other side.
Okay.
That's where it got the title, Journey to the Other Side.
I got you. Well, April 18th, we'll see you with Vinnie Moore. And of course, like I said, Mission to Mars is out. Mo, great to talk to you. Thanks so much for the time.
Oh, awesome, man. Awesome. You're making me look cold there, though, with your jacket and your hat.
It'll be warmer when you come here in April, I promise.
Yeah, 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 yeah.